The Archdiocese of Chicago is a vibrant and diverse faith community. We celebrate our faith through worship, evangelization, and reaching out to the needy. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and we extend a warm hello to all who are listening on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago, and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago, which is the account for the Archdiocese of Chicago. When Catholic Charities was founded in 1917, corporate leaders throughout the Windy City gathered in support of this important new charitable organization. They acknowledged that the poor will always be among us, and they trusted Catholic Charities to know how to make the most of every dollar donated, to alleviate suffering and accompany tens of thousands of families each year as they strive to move permanently out of poverty. That same corporate philanthropy continues today in Chicago, and Levenfeld Pearlstein is a leading law firm that exemplifies extraordinary support for the work of Catholic Charities in 2024. We are tremendously grateful for the abundant generosity shown by this prestigious firm. And we have with us today Elizabeth O'Brien and Michael St. Peter, two Levenfeld Pearlstein partners who personally have given of themselves to Catholic Charities in numerous inspiring ways beyond that of their generous employer. We are so delighted to have this chance to speak with them and thank them for all of the ways that they are joining in our work. Welcome, Elizabeth and Mike.
Thank you, Katie.
So glad that you're here today, and we so look forward to this opportunity to thank you for your generosity and talk about what all the things that you've been involved in Catholic Charities. But first, can we ask you to share a little bit of background on the Levenfeld Pearlstein law firm? Mike, may I start with you?
Absolutely. Well, first, thanks for having us, Katie. We really appreciate the opportunity, and we're thrilled to be here. Levenfeld Pearlstein is a full-service middle-market law firm located in Chicago. We started in 1999. Really with the goal of creating a new type of law firm, a different type of law firm that's the foundation of which is earned trust and collaboration, and really a commitment to impacting our community. 25 years later, here we are with 100 lawyers, 200 team members, and with those same core values, with the goal of providing an unparalleled client experience to our clients and our partners in the community.
And clearly your success in Chicago shows that you're very good at that. Anything to add to that, Elizabeth?
No, I think Mike summed it up pretty well. It's a firm that I'm incredibly proud to be at every single day of my career. I consider myself very lucky and very grateful.
And can I ask when each of you started working at Levenfeld Pearlstein and what areas of law that each of you specialize in?
Sure. I started with Levenfeld almost 8 years ago, and I specialize in commercial real estate, and I'm the leader of our commercial real estate practice group.
Wonderful.
And I started 16 years ago, and I'm a partner in our corporate group, and I represent private equity investors, private business owners, and their businesses.
Really, really wonderful areas of expertise that both of you are involved in. You know, I know Levenfeld Pearlstein has been extremely generous to Catholic Charities for so many years now. I'm wondering, is that how you first became associated with Catholic Charities, through the involvement of Levenfeld Pearlstein?
Yes, our former CEO, Angela Sebastian, was very involved with Catholic Charities for several years, and really laid the foundation for our partnership. And Elizabeth and I have had the privilege of leading the partnership between Levenfeld and Catholic Charities over the last 3 years, and it's really has grown even in the 3 years we've been involved. So we're just feel very privileged to be a part of that.
Well, and I actually had the privilege of interviewing her a number of years ago down at your offices, and I was so moved because when I walked in her office, it was covered, all the walls of her office were covered with photos from Catholic Charities After Supper Visions program. And as you know, that's a program in which we invite guests of the Tuesday night supper to grow in their skills as photographers. And they work with some professional volunteers who are photographers, professional photographers who are volunteers. They work with them, and then then have an annual photo exhibition. And so Angela came and kept purchasing photos to support the artists, and then she decorated her office with those. It was so impressive to see. But my colleague Noreen Russo also has shared with me a little bit about each of your involvement. And I know that you guys each have been so generous in your time with the Tuesday night supper. And so can I talk a little bit about that? How did you get involved with the Tuesday night supper? And what do you like most about coming to help serve our guests on Tuesday night? Elizabeth, can I start with you?
Yeah, sure. So I think my introduction to the Tuesday night supper was actually through Angie's work and the pictures that she had in her office. They were floor to ceiling pictures, as you saw. It was very inspirational. I asked about them. She told me about the mission, and I was very interested in how I could help. When Michael and I started to grow the relationship between Levenfeld and Catholic Charities, it seemed like a very natural fit for me to start volunteering there. And in the beginning, it was maybe once a month, and then it became something that after I left, I was looking forward to going back the following week. Being able to form relationships with some of the people that you see there on a regular basis was incredibly powerful. And so I continued to go. I'm there. I'd like to say I'm there every week. Sometimes my kids' schedules get in the way, but for the most part, I'm lucky enough to be there every Tuesday.
And that must be really difficult with your very, significant workload at Levenfeld Pearlstein.
It's an easy fit. It really is. It was a little bit challenging at first to figure out how to get from here to here and balance everything, but the truth is that it really is so rewarding that it becomes very easy for me to schedule around it.
And we're so grateful for that ongoing dedication. Thank you so much. How about you, Mike? How did you become involved with the Tuesday night supper?
Yeah, same as Elizabeth, really, and I've been there to volunteer a couple times, not as often as Elizabeth, and we're just thrilled to be part of that program. I'll also mention, if I could, one of the other programs at Catholic Charities that Levenfeld Pearlstein supports, and that's the House of Good Shepherd, which is a domestic violence safe house, if you will. And we've been supporting that initiative for 3 years now. And that partnership really reflects kind of shared core values between Levenfeld and Catholic Charities, and that is really helping people help themselves, empowering people to create their own success story. And the House of the Good Shepherd helps women going through difficult situations, women and children going through very difficult situations, get to a safe place, first of all. Stability and safety are the foundations for future success, and allows them to do that, and then provides wraparound services and job training services, and again, that Levenfeld is committed to, in all of our charity partnerships, to really helping people be the heroes of their own success story.
That's a wonderful program to be involved in, and I know I saw on your website that you even have included the House of Good Shepherd in your annual social impact, report. And so we're just so grateful for that ongoing support, because as you said, it's an incredibly important program at Catholic Charities. That's our transitional housing residents in Cook County, and then we have the House of Peace in Lake County that meet women, in some of the scariest moments of their life, and then they help them rebuild those lives in peace and in safety with their children. So thank you again for that wonderful description there. Any other programs that you've heard about or been involved in that have been particularly meaningful to you, Elizabeth?
So I think that we've also, through the partnership with Levenfeld, increased our sponsorship this year to include the Welcome the Stranger program, which Michael probably knows a little bit more about the specifics than I do. But we were proud to expand our outreach to that program as well this year.
Oh, we're so grateful. Of course, the Welcome the Stranger program started in August of 2022 when the new arrivals started coming in large numbers in Chicago. And so Catholic Charities has been working nonstop with city and state leaders to help folks who are in shelters find more permanent housing. And then we've also worked with parishes around the Archdiocese who want to more actively support the asylum seekers, the new arrivals in Chicago. Can you talk a little bit about, what you've been involved in or what you've learned about the program that has been especially meaningful to you, Mike?
Well, again, it aligns with our core values of welcoming people of all backgrounds, all faith traditions, all all experiences, because they have their human capital, and the dignity of the human is present in everyone. And so really making sure that we're, as a community, welcoming them, providing them safety, and giving them the opportunities for a better life in our community. It's just a joy to be partnering with Catholic Charities in that effort.
Beautifully said. And so I know, in addition to your wonderful involvement in Catholic Charities, Mike, you also had a wonderful step in your spiritual life recently that was a little bit related to Catholic Charities, because it involved our mutual friend, Father Wayne Watts. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, thanks for asking, Katie. If you'll indulge me. I grew up in the Catholic tradition, but didn't fully participate in all the sacraments. And after 45 years of that, I figured it was time to make it official, and went through the RCA program at my local parish in Wilmette. St. Joseph Francis Xavier and Father Wayne Watts baptized me and confirmed me and all that in 2022. So that was just a wonderful experience, and the Holy Spirit led me to that point and continues to lead me.
And does faith play a role in your philanthropic efforts, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a foundational principle of Christianity, of Catholicism, but of all faiths. And that at Levenfeld Pearlstein, we're a very diverse law firm, and we have members of our team who come from all faith traditions, and it's that alignment of serving people of all faith traditions that really allows us to expand and strengthen our partnership with Catholic Charities.
And how about you, Elizabeth? Would you say that faith also plays a role in all the wonderful work you do at Catholic Charities?
I think it plays a huge role in everything that I do with Catholic Charities and everything that's led me to this point. I read something this morning that was something about serving Jesus through all the good deeds, the small good deeds, and there is nothing more obvious to me in connection with the work that Catholic Charities does, that every single small deed is one more step closer to that. So I think that that's a huge part. It's also a huge part in what I do on Tuesday nights. Like Mike was speaking about how it's part of the Christian faith to serve all of humanity. And there's nothing more clear on Tuesdays when you have a room full of people of all backgrounds, all genders, races, countries, and they're all there with one common need. And that's food, that's to be fed. And to see everyone bow in prayer, even though not everyone in the room is Catholic, even though not everyone in the room is Christian, is very impactful.
Beautifully said. Well, we're so delighted to have you with us today. If you'll please bear with us, we're going to take a break here on The Voice of Charity. And when we return, we're going to continue our conversation with Elizabeth O'Brien and Michael St. Peter about the wonderful Levenfeld Pearlstein law firm and their involvement in Catholic Charities. Please stay tuned.
People always say, how can you spend your day with 3-year-olds? Seeing the changes that they go through and just the journey and how they grow, this is a very rewarding job. Even though at the end of the day, we're not the highest paid people on earth. And when I have a parent contact me and say, my child loves school, that to me, I'm setting that foundation for their love of learning, because really you are changing lives, you are molding lives.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at artchicago.org/schooljobs.
Catholic Charities offers a wide variety of volunteer opportunities to those who want to share their time and help us serve people in need. Whether it's stocking the shelves of our food pantries, helping refugees learn the English language, tutoring school-aged children, becoming a mentor to young adults, sorting clothes in our clothing rooms, serving hot meals to those who are facing homelessness, or delivering meals and making cards to lift the spirits of our homebound seniors, we are deeply grateful to all those who want to join in our mission of mercy. Volunteer opportunities are updated weekly for people of all ages at ccofchicagovolunteer.com, or just call us at 312-655-7053. That's 312-655-7053. Thank you for helping us follow Jesus' call to serve our neighbors in need.
I am a seminarian.
The church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
Welcome back to The Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and it's my great pleasure today to be here with two partners in the Levenfeld Pearlstein law firm, Elizabeth O'Brien and Michael St. Peter. And they and their employer have been incredibly generous with Catholic Charities for numerous years, giving monetary donations to support our programs, but also personally coming and working at the Tuesday night supper and getting involved with the House of Good Shepherd that assists women who are victims of domestic violence. And so we're so thrilled to have this opportunity to see you in person, thank you in person, thank Levenfeld Pearlstein, but also talk about how your personal involvement in Catholic Charities really aligns with the corporate philosophy of giving back to the community that is so inherent at Levenfeld Pearlstein. I was on your website, and it's really quite inspiring to read about. Can I ask you each to reflect and comment a little bit on that part of the culture at Levenfeld Pearlstein? Mike, can I start with you?
Of course, yeah. Well, it's a foundational principle, a core value of ours to give back to our communities, focus on the social impact of our partnerships and our giving. One of the things that we do that I think reflects this is we, in good times and in bad, we give a portion of our revenue, a fixed portion of our revenue, to our charity partners. So these aren't discretionary expenses for us. It is part of our commitment to being in the community that we serve and to giving back to that community. We also, every year, publish our social impact report, and Catholic Charities was prominently profiled this past year in 2023. We're very proud of that. It focuses not on us, but where the focus should be, on our charity partners and the good works that they're doing, and the other pro bono work that we're doing as a firm. So those are a couple of ways that reflect this as a core value of our firm.
And there's so many ways that you gather as a staff, right, to give back to the community. Elizabeth, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I'm happy to. It's actually one of the reasons that I chose to come over to Levenfeld 8 years ago. At the time, I'd been very involved in the associate board for the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Food insecurity has always been a very significant pain point and issue for me, especially when we see it in Chicago. And Levenfeld has a national reach as a law firm, but we are a Chicago-based firm. So focusing on the needs of Chicago was important to me. When I was going through the interview process and I started to really look deeply into not just what type of firm it was to practice at, but what type of partners I would be practicing with, the people, the humanity that's involved, not just in the business of the firm, but as it impacts a huge part of your life. And I realized the dedication that Levenfeld had to all of these issues, and that the people that we hire, the people that we keep, the people that we attract, all have that same value of wanting to give back in some way to the community. And that really resonated with me. It continues to resonate with me as we look to grow our team. And so I think that's just one of the ways that LP really exemplifies our commitment.
And our live stream is showing some of the photos that we've gathered of different opportunities that staff members at Levenfeld Pearlstein have gotten together. And you have at least one annual day of service, right, where everybody goes out and works. Everybody choose their own partner to go and work at, or does everybody go to the same place? How does that work?
We all get our hands dirty packing food together at the Greater Chicago Food Depository, another one of our wonderful partners. And we've been doing that for all my 16 years at the firm and longer than that. It's I think both of our favorite day of the year at the firm, because arm in arm we're together serving those in need in our community and building bonds and teamwork at the same time. It's wonderful.
And they actually are one of our partners too. We have a wonderful cooperation between our food pantries and other food resources in Chicago to make sure that the stocks get, that the shelves stay stocked for our guests. And so I agree with you. They're a wonderful organization that we're proud to partner with as well. Sorry, we're going to add something? Please do.
Just that in addition to that, I'm proud to say that there's several members of our team firm-wide that have volunteered to come with me on Tuesdays. So it's not quite as formal as bringing the full firm, but it does add a lot of value.
That's wonderful. We're so grateful for any time volunteers come, because as you know that every single Tuesday that room is full of folks who are facing food insecurity, and so we're so grateful for the volunteers who find it in their time and their busy schedules to come and help. I'm just wondering, in your involvement at Catholic Charities, if you've had opportunity to meet and get to know some of the guests that we serve, or staff members or volunteers who've left an impact on you. Elizabeth, can I start with you?
Sure, all of the above. The clients that we serve on Tuesday nights are, my favorite part is getting the opportunity to speak with them. As you go, for people that aren't familiar with the program, it's the people that are getting served dinner, they come in the room, they're seated at tables with tablecloths, with flowers, coffee, water, and then the volunteers go through the service line, and then we bring the plates of food to them, to each client. It's wonderful because it really adds that extra level of service, and it adds that layer of dignity to the people in the room that need the food. In connection with all of that, you get to chat and you get to know your regulars, and there's so many people that I see on a regular basis. I might not know their story, but I know that they want extra servings of chicken, but they don't want the vegetables. Or they want the double dessert, but I can hold the rice. And you really get to know who likes what, and them on more of a personal level. Then you also get to see some stories. I think 2 weeks ago, someone pulled me aside. I had never seen this gentleman before. And he said, "I looked a lot like you 3 months ago." And I wasn't really sure exactly what he was getting at, and I said, "Oh, okay." I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And he said, "It's a good thing. I fell on hard times, but it's people like you and people like Catholic Charities that have allowed me to continue eating during this time period." And it really, there's no story in there that's more impactful than any other story, but to hear somebody say, I looked like this 3 months ago. I mean, truly, this gentleman had to have gone through some serious tough times in the last 3 months. And you look around the room, and I wish there were time to get to know everyone. There's the children that run up to you and hug your leg, and they hold on, and they're so grateful, and thank you, thank you, thank you. There is a gentleman that right before Easter got up and led a prayer. So before we begin, Father Wayne sometimes says a prayer, or someone else says a prayer, and this time it was one of the guests who got up and said a prayer. And it wasn't a Catholic prayer, but the prayer that he said has stuck with me. He kept saying, "Father God, Father God, Father God." And I hear this when I pray at night. I hear that in his words in my head playing back, it was a prayer of bringing the people in the room together. And it was such a beautiful time right before Easter to hear those words. So these are the stories that when I walk out of that room at 6:30 on Tuesdays, and I can't wait for the next week to come around.
Beautifully said. And how about you, Mike? Anybody, the staff, volunteers, clients that are especially memorable stories for you?
Well, I just have to give a shout out to our partners at Catholic Charities. Colleen Kennedy, who has been wonderful over the last number of months, that we've expanded our support of these newer programs like the Welcome the Stranger. And Noreen Russo, leading the Suppers program, is a great friend of Elizabeth and of mine and the firm. And then Father Watts is unique and special and wonderful, and he really allows the Holy Spirit, I think, to come to every corner of the places he's in, the places he speaks to. That includes, I know, Catholic Charities. It's true of my own parish, but it's also true of the different partnerships we overlap with. So. You chose several of the most wonderful leaders at Catholic Charities, so thank you for those lovely words. In the short time we have left, I just wonder about your involvement with Catholic Charities, if you have any observations about the work and its importance in the city of Chicago. Elizabeth, can I ask you to reflect on that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The work that I see in providing the group of people food on Tuesday, and it's every weeknight. It's what I understand. I'm just involved on Tuesdays. Food is such a basic need. It's really difficult for people to overcome other challenges or even get through the day if you're just hungry. You're just hungry, right? So helping them with this basic need gives them one step further to being able to solve other issues in their lives. And to just give them that stepping off point, I think, is so incredibly significant, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Well, you clearly understand the mission so well about providing stability in one area so then they can focus on the other areas in which they might be struggling. How about you, Mike?
Well, really, again, it's empowering people to create their own success story. I'll repeat myself there, but it's so important to us as a firm. It's part of our core value. We know it's Catholic Charities' core value, and it's a common thread through all of Catholic Charities programs, all of the programs that we support, and we're just so proud to be a partner with Catholic Charities in that way.
Well, we were so thrilled to have this opportunity to thank Levenfeld Pearlstein and thank each of you individually for your selfless generation of your time and your talents to the mission of Catholic Charities. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
We highly value our partnership with you and all of your colleagues at Levenfeld Pearlstein and extend our deepest appreciation to you for the many ways you continue to have a substantial, positive impact in the lives of so many people we serve each week.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Katie.
And we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.